Hi, I'm Alex Martinez. I'm the CEO of Lupa Bio. We're going to expand the $50 billion anti-inflammatory drug market by developing a new drug called 3SL for those not served by today's options. 30 years ago, 1 in 400 people suffered from an autoimmune inflammatory disease. Today, it's 1 in 12, and increasing year over year. My co-founder and I witnessed this problem emerge across society while working together in the pharmaceutical industry. Unfortunately, all current treatments have serious side effects and even life-threatening risks. This is a black box warning. It's the FDA's strongest danger sign. Almost all anti-inflammatory drugs have one. It's to warn patients that the drug they're about to take requires a serious trade-off to their health. As a result, these drugs are only used chronically in the most severe cases. For the majority of patients, however, these side effects offset the benefits, leaving them suffering but unserved. We think we found a solution, and the story begins 80 years ago, during a time when there were no effective anti-inflammatory drugs, when scientists began searching for the reason why women with inflammatory disease would often go into remission during pregnancy. They never did find what they were looking for, but almost a century later, a clue was found. Sugars in human milk, called human milk oligosaccharides, HMOs for short, were found circulating in the blood of pregnant women. This was surprising because previously these HMOs were really only thought to serve as prebiotics for the infant microbiome and anti-adhesives for pathogens. So this observation begged the question, what direct effects might these have in the body? Researchers at UC San Diego evaluated all 200 pooled HMOs and saw direct anti-inflammatory effects, indicating that at least some of these sugars work in both moms and babies like drugs. They then went on to identify 3SL as the single HMO primarily responsible for these effects, and perhaps solving this age-old mystery. Incredibly, 3SL is not just safe, it's 5 times less toxic than baking soda in animals, and it's also safe in people. We have safety and tolerability data equivalent to a full phase 1 study. So how can 3SL be anti-inflammatory, yet so much safer than other drugs? Well, it doesn't work by suppressing the immune system like those other approaches. Think of it as Mother Nature's switch to resolve inflammation. You see, when a macrophage is activated by signals from tissue damage, it goes into attack mode, which only leads to further destruction. When 3SL is introduced, it works through the EP4 receptor to resolve inflammation, telling that macrophage to go from attack to repair mode, which should lead to relief from disease. So now with the understanding of that mechanism, the next step was to see if it worked in animal models of inflammatory disease. This is a mouse model of rheumatoid arthritis. Note the pronounced swelling in this untreated paw. Now with 3SL treatment, swelling is reduced. The paw is essentially normalized. This tells us that 3SL holds promise to address symptoms of inflammatory disease. But beyond swelling, when we look at the tissue inside of the paw and joint, we see true disease-modifying activity. So looking at the blue column, generally, when you see something white, it's either healthy cartilage, connective tissue, or bone. So starting at the top, we see that 3SL repairs cartilage. Next, it clears inflammation from the joint. And finally, it eliminates pannus. This is a mass of inflammatory cells. You can see it in the purple on the left in the untreated mouse. This pannus causes bone erosion. If you're someone with this disease, you don't just want the swelling to go down. You want your body to repair itself. And that's exactly what we're seeing in our data, and it's why we're so excited about 3SL as a drug. Because of the wealth of safety data supporting 3SL, we were able to use the FDA's 505(b)(2) pathway to go from an academic license to submitting our full pre-IND briefing package in a little over a year. In 2 weeks, we're going to have FDA feedback on our clinical path with the goal to initiate human studies as part of our phase 1b/2a program within a year. To go fast, we identified a rare pediatric disease with a true unmet need, and this is for kids with a subtype of juvenile idiopathic arthritis in which there are no approved branded drugs because of their toxicities. If all goes well, we'll know if we have an effective drug for these kids within about 3 years, and from there we can rapidly expand to much larger opportunities like adult rheumatoid arthritis. A truly safe and effective anti-inflammatory drug is a pipeline within a product, so this is just a beginning for us. Our IP comes in the form of an exclusive therapeutic license from UC San Diego to a broad worldwide patent application. And of course, we're filing our own internal IP to further protect and create opportunities for the business. My co-founder and I worked at Ionis Pharmaceuticals on the business, patent, development, and regulatory side of over 40 clinical stage programs, including 4 now approved drugs. This experience, combined with our training as attorneys, enables us to go from strategy to execution extremely rapidly. And in short order, we have forged the components necessary to become a clinical stage company. We have physician clinical advisors, world-class key opinion leaders for our initial indications, former FDA regulatory experts, leading clinical research organizations, and even the supply chain necessary for our initial human studies. I was the first 6-figure check in, followed by IndieBio, and we are welcoming new investors to see us through our FDA interaction and enable us to continue executing on our IND filing and clinical study startup activities. Following formal FDA feedback, we will set our initial equity raise to fully fund our first in-human study. So, speaking as a founder, an angel investor, and a patient, I ask that if you share our vision of developing a drug that doesn't require those suffering from inflammatory disease to accept side effects for relief, let's talk. Thank you.